I'm always of the mindset that what gets made easy gets done. That's why I'm going to show you step by step the easiest way I know of to jailbreak any model of the PlayStation Portable system in just a matter of minutes with one single download. Fire up your PlayStation Portable and your PC because you're about to level up your setup. As we get started with modding your PSP, I think it's worth taking a look at a few key settings in the cross media bar. First up, from the Settings tab, scroll down until you see the listing that says System Settings. Once you have it highlighted, press the X button to go into the submenu. Inside this submenu, use the D-pad on the PSP to scroll down until you see the listing that says USB Charge. Once you get there, press the X button to select it. I recommend that you change this setting from off to on. Reason being, once you've connected your PSP over USB, if you don't have an external charger, it will trickle charge your device while you have it connected to your computer. Highlight on and press X to select it. Next up, scroll down one listing in the cross media bar. You'll now see a listing that says USB Auto Connect. Press X and then change this setting from off to on. That way, when you plug in the USB cable to your computer in just a moment, it will automatically start the connection between your PSP and your computer system. With USB functionality taken care of, use the D-pad to scroll all the way down near the bottom to the listing that says System Information. Once you have it highlighted, press the X button. Your PSP needs to be on the most recent version of the official system software, in this instance version 6.61. If you're not on 6.61, go ahead and update your system before proceeding. Press the circle button to go back to the cross media bar. Then press circle one more time to go back to the main menu of settings. To start the modding process, you'll need to get your PSP connected over USB to your computer. Scroll up to the listing that says USB connection and select it with the X button. You'll be prompted to connect your PSP to your computer with a USB cable. Plug in the USB cable to your PSP and your computer, and you should see a confirmation message on the screen of your PSP indicating that the USB mode has been activated. When the File Explorer window appears on your computer, you can drag it to either side of the screen. In this case, I just like to move files from the left side of the screen to the right side of the screen, like reading in English. So I'm going to snap the window over to the right side of the screen to lock it into place. Everything you need to mod your PSP system is in this one single all-in-one file download I promised you. It's linked for you in the video description. On this page, I've also got links to USB cables in case you need one to jailbreak your system, official memory cards for the PSP, and even a microSD card and microSD card adapter if you really want to level up the storage on your device. To grab the all-in-one file, come down to this green download button near the right side of the screen and click on it. It will download the all-in-one zip file to your computer. Once you have the file downloaded, you'll need to extract its contents. Open up a new instance of File Explorer by right-clicking on the icon, then scroll up to the listing for downloads. I'll take this File Explorer window and drag and drop it over to the left side of the display and snap it into place. Once you have your downloads folder open, right-click on the zip file and select Extract All. You can extract the contents of this file to the default location inside the Extract tool. Once the extract process is complete, you no longer need this zip file. Right-click on it and click Delete to send the file to the recycle bin. And remember, anything that you send to the recycle bin is still archived there for you, just in case you need it sometime down the road. Let's take a look at the contents inside this all-in-one folder. Navigate to the folder and double-click into it. The first subfolder is for all models of the PSP except the Go. In other words, the PSP 1000, 2000, 3000, and Street models. The other folder inside here is exclusively for use with the PSP Go model. The layout inside both of these subfolders is virtually the same, and the process for setting them up on your system is the same. For this example, I'm using a 3000 model PSP, so I'll double-click into the folder that has PSP 3000 support. No matter which folder you click, you'll find a subfolder inside there called PSP. On your storage for your device, you should also already have a folder there called PSP. All you have to do is grab the PSP folder and drag and drop it onto your storage outside of any of the subfolders that are already there. Don't drop it in the PSP folder, drop it outside of any subfolder you see on your memory card. Once you have this folder copied over to your PSP, go back to the root of your downloads folder. You no longer need this folder with the all-in-one file content. Right-click on it and click delete to send it to the recycle bin. And remember, it's still archived there for you if you need it later. You can close out any open instances of File Explorer at this point by clicking on the red X in the top right corner of the File Explorer windows. That's everything you need to do with your PC. You can transition back over to your PlayStation Portable for the remainder of the guide. And that starts by disconnecting your PSP from your computer through the USB cable. Just remove the USB cable from your PSP and you'll be back at the cross-media bar. Cool. Now let's go ahead and run the first piece of homebrew content to mod your system. From the cross-media bar main menu, use the D-pad to scroll over through the list of icons at the top until you get to Game. From the Game tab, scroll all the way down to the bottom and you'll see the listing for memory stick. Select it with the X button. You should see two pieces of homebrew software available to you here. The first one is Infinity 2 and the second one is Pro C2 Update. With Infinity 2 highlighted, press the X button. For the purposes of this video, I have it connected for TV out through component cable to a RetroTink 5X Pro, but you can't run Infinity if you're connected to an external display. So switching over to cam view in 3, 2, 1. And this is what you'll see on screen. To install Infinity to your system, all you have to do is press the X button. Once the installation process is complete, press the X button to reboot your PSP and be taken back to the cross-media bar. You'll most likely land right back on the Game tab on your cross-media bar, but if you don't, navigate to it with the D-pad. From the Game tab, scroll back down to the listing that says Memory Stick. Select it with the X button. Inside Memory Stick, scroll down past Infinity to the listing that says Pro C2 Update. Select it with the X button to launch it. You'll end up at this screen with lots of super small text. Let's zoom in and take a closer look. From the list of choices, press the X button on your PSP to launch the Pro C2 custom firmware for the first time. You'll see a series of text messages on screen. Once it's done, press the X button to restart your PSP. Once your system restarts, you'll be running custom firmware, but it will not be persistent. What that means is every time you power on your device, you'll have to relaunch the custom firmware. This is where Infinity comes in. It empowers the system to launch the custom firmware every time without you having to go through the manual process. In other words, it makes it persistent. Go back to Game, go to Memory Stick, and reopen Infinity 2. And yeah, don't forget to disconnect from the external display. You already have Infinity installed, so let's use it to make your custom firmware persistent. Press left on the D-pad and you'll see several choices here. Make sure that the yellow highlight is hovering over Pro CFW by Coldbird. Press the X button to lock in this selection. Once you've made this change, press the right button on the D-pad to go back to the Infinity main menu. From here, press the Home or PlayStation button on your system. At the confirmation prompt that appears, press the X button to exit Infinity. This will restart your PSP and take you back to the cross-media bar. Once you're back at the main menu of your cross-media bar, let's make sure that both the Infinity and Pro C2 custom firmware changes were applied successfully to your system. Use the D-pad to navigate back over to the tab for settings on your cross-media bar. From here, we're going to go back down to System Information to verify whether or not these changes were applied successfully. So from Settings, scroll down to System Settings and select it with the X button. Inside the System Settings submenu, scroll down all the way down near the bottom until you see the listing for System Information. Select System Information with the X button. Inside System Information, you should now see that you have 6.61 Pro C and the Infinity symbol next to it. This tells us both that custom firmware was installed successfully to the system and that Infinity will make it launch persistently every time you power on your device. It's awesome that you have your PSP jailbroken, but there's one problem still remaining. There's nothing fun to do with it yet. Let's fix that. Learn how to play backups of your favorite PSP games on your newly modded system with this video shown on screen and linked in the description and pinned comment.